Hey everyone, my name is Kristin. I'm the Director of Educational Services for Hewitt Learning. And today I want to talk with you about the Independent Innovator Challenge. I want to start by giving you a brief background on the organization sponsoring the challenge, as well as just a little bit about how this challenge came about. Hewitt Research Foundation was founded in 1964 with the goal of helping equip families to educate their children with the best resources available. The founding members wanted to create a place where homeschooling could develop as a movement. As Hewitt has grown and changed over the years, our organization has focused really on three main areas. We started out, developed an award-winning literature-based language arts curriculum, as well as many unit studies designed for independent learners. We're also the home to the PASS test, a standardized test designed for homeschooling students. This test is unique in that it takes into account the fact that there really is no such thing as a standardized learner. Homeschooling really provides the opportunity for kids to learn at their own pace, often at different paces in different subjects. And so unlike most tests, we accommodate those differences with the PASS test. We also have an enrollment program where students from around the world can get help from choosing the right curriculum, receive feedback from a teacher, get transcripts for the record keeping. And really the goal in each of these areas is to help young people develop their minds for a lifetime of use. Now, keeping in mind the goal of getting the best possible educational resources available into the hands of families, and with my background in the area of innovation, we noticed we seemed a little light in the area of STEM, creativity, innovation, that sort of thing. So as a team, we set out to find a solution to our problem. Working with Innovation World, we've developed this Independent Innovator Challenge. Our goal is to provide not only a chance for learners in the US to earn their way to the National Invention Challenge or Innovation Challenge and globals, but also to help a generation of independent learners come together and share their innovations with the peers and the world. So, who's an innovator? For our purposes, an innovator is someone who, prior to college years, has an idea, who's developed an app, or created a prototype. For many reasons, sometimes people don't really believe their ideas will amount to anything. Sometimes because they don't have access to the resources or skills needed to develop and then share those ideas. We want to challenge that thinking. So in the context of the Independent Innovator Challenge, we're going to focus on these three areas. Let's look at ideas first. Ideas that change the world really start as a simple scheme. It might be an idea that starts on the back of a napkin that gets built out into a full-fledged blueprint. It could be a plan that turns the business world upside down. Or it could be a simple way to just make a routine task easier. There could be a drawing, a mock-up, a static model showing parts, just doesn't actually work. There could also be a functional project, organization, or process plan. Bottom line, your solution is conceptual in this category of ideas. A second area is that we focus on is apps. The innovators create an application or a software program strictly on a microcomputer, a computer, tablet, phone, some other electronic device. Coders really are the lifeblood of today's systems. Their ideas turn intangible lines on some screen into a solution that solves real-world tangible problems. Finally, prototypes. Prototypes have historically been the predominant way to introduce an invention. The innovator creates a tangible device or product that's been constructed and has some, if not all, of the functions and capabilities that might be needed to actually be used in the real world. It might not be made of the correct materials, it might not be the actual size of the final product, and it may certainly not work as well as it should, but it does have the ability to perform at least some of the function it's intended to. So the Independent Innovator Challenge is one avenue that encourages innovation among students who have either come up with an idea, app, or prototype to solve some sort of need that they've seen in the real world. So how do you become an innovator? Well, every innovator begins with one thing, finding a problem or a need that intrigues you. So what is it that captures your attention? What bugs you? Innovators are observers of life around them. Once you've identified a problem that you'd like to solve, then comes the research. What's already known about the subject? You brainstorm, list potential ways to solve your problem. Who else thinks that this is a problem? What other solutions are out there? What can you try? How can you break this down into manageable bites? Next comes my favorite part, working on your solution. If you have an idea, this is when you draw the model, flesh out your plan, create a blueprint. If you're creating an app, you learn the code required to put your idea into practice. If you're developing a prototype, this is when you get your hands dirty and actually build something. But you can't stop there. Nothing is ever perfect the first time you try. You have to test, refine. You have to talk to other people to get feedback on your idea. You have to work out the bugs in your code, the kinks in your prototype, which brings you back to that refining your original problem, and the cycle continues. So throughout this entire process, you want to keep a logbook or a journal. This is a place to keep track of your brainstorms, your research, who has helped you with the process, where you found your resources, where you've learned the skills to develop the app, the idea, the prototype. It's a record of your journey, of the process that you've gone through, so you can look back and see what you've created. Once you've created your solution, you'll need to convince others that your solution really is worth listening to and possibly even investing in. A pitch video is a great way to do that. It only takes 2 to 3 minutes to explain why your solution really is the best one out there. It's hard to condense your thoughts down in a way that engages your audience, so refining your pitch helps you summarize and engage people who may not have realized that your problem even existed. So creating a pitch video both fosters that refining process and also becomes a part of your entry in the Independent Innovator Challenge. So for the challenge, you'll also need to explain the process you went through in developing your idea, app, or prototype. With the potential of helpful feedback from people around the nation or even around the world, we can't limit ourselves to a trifold presentation. So creating a few slides for a presentation can help you learn how to communicate your process and bring others along in your journey. You also need to decide what you want to do with your creation and how you want to share it with the world. The Independent Innovator Challenge is one way that can help with that process. As a part of the challenge, each student will receive written feedback on their idea, app, or prototype. With the potential of helpful feedback from people around the world, you can take this to the next step. Joining a challenge like this will also help you refine what you have as you interact with others in the real world. If you make it to a live event, you'll get immediate feedback from a circle of your peers, learn to answer questions on the spot. It really is a valuable part of the innovation process. They're also a great way to help celebrate. So, do you know someone who has an idea, app, or prototype? Have you begun to develop something? Do you have or could you build something that you're working on? If you do, we want to invite you to enter into this Independent Innovator Challenge and join with us. Let us help you develop your idea, app, or prototype and develop your mind for a lifetime of use together with Hewitt Learning. So, you guys have any questions?
Yes. How does somebody get in touch with Hewitt Learning? Do you just Google Hewitt?
Absolutely. Yeah, you can Google Hewitt Learning. That's the best way to do that. That Independent Innovators website that was there at the end of the screen for a moment, and independentinnovators.org, actually takes you to a page on the Innovation World website. And that's where the registration is on the Innovation World website this year. And so if you want to register there, you can also email us at independentinnovators@hewittlearning.org. You can answer questions there. So there's a lot of different places, but Hewitt Learning, that's if you're interested in the curriculum, the past test, anything like that, hewittlearning.org is the way to go. Great. Absolutely.
Erin, I don't want to hog all the points. Do you have any questions?
I'm curious to know more about like how you're finding uptake or how you're overcoming challenges where you, for example, I've drank the Kool-Aid and I know you've drank the Kool-Aid. How have you gone about feeding others the Kool-Aid or introducing this in places where more traditional curriculum is usually sort of the norm?
Absolutely. I have it kind of easy in the homeschool world because homeschoolers really are innovators by nature. They say, this system isn't working for us, let's find something that works for us. And they go about and find a schedule or a curriculum or resources that works for their family and their kids. And so in the homeschooling world, it's a lot easier of a sell to say, hey, look, we've got something that will allow your kid to be able to dive into something they're excited about and give them an opportunity to develop their speaking skills, to develop all these other areas along those same lines. And just being excited about something that's cross-curricular that allows kids to be able to pursue their passions really is what tends to draw people in.
I mean, we see over and over again, I think everywhere around the world, that self-directed learning really is the means to engagement, and the importance of teaching students how to learn, not necessarily what to learn. Yeah, so totally appreciate this. And I guess, is there an international opportunity here? Could others from elsewhere in the world participate, either through your school or through other chapters?
Yeah, definitely with other, we're still working out the kinks because this is the first year. And so right now, there are other partners around the world to go on to the Global Innovation Challenge. So anybody from the US that's coming will go on to the national US challenge.
Awesome.
But if there's somebody who's not in the US that wants to do it, talk to us and we'll hook you up with the right person and the right organization to be able to have that pathway into the Global Innovation Challenge as well.
Well, consider your good friends at the Learning Partnership in Canada willing to chip in however we can support.
Absolutely. Love it.
And Kristin had mentioned the national, but beyond the national, there is a global. It's the Global Innovation Challenge, and it's September 25th. And you want to get involved with Kristin, and Kristin will get your students going up with the whole path. U.S. national.
All the way up.
Global, all the way.
All the way.
Absolutely. Fantastic.
Kristin, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Chris,
It was a pleasure.
Let me just ask you one little rude question. How do you fund this? How is the funding? You talked about
Good question.
Yeah.
The funding for the challenge itself, or Hewitt in general?
Well, Hewitt in general, because you talked about, oh, you can get this help, but what is it
Right. Hewitt is a nonprofit organization, and so every resource we provide, we do it pretty much at as low of a cost as we can. So our curriculum we do sell as a curriculum. The pass test, likewise, we sell. It's $38 for a pass test. Curriculum is varying prices, anywhere from $5 on up to 50, on up to, depending on how much you want to get. And so we use that to be able to help us create more resources and go on from there. The challenge, we're going to do a $30 entrance fee. I forgot to mention that. Thank you. So that $30 entry fee also covers just basically our costs, so that we can keep providing these resources.
Excellent. That's wonderful. Thank you very much. Thank you.
My pleasure.
All the important work you're doing. Thank you. See you soon.